What's going on, YouTube? So many people, when they're selecting their next vehicle, have to sacrifice sporty dynamics for SUV practicality. But the BMW X6 has long been a vehicle that satisfies both of those needs quite well. And we expect 2026 to be one of the very last model years of this current generation BMW X6. And we have a question: is this the best way to spend $100,000 in today's market? Let's go ahead and find out.
Alright, so let's start things out under the hood with a quick spec dump. You're going to have three different powertrain options for the X6. We have the middle M60i model, which is a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 making 523 horsepower. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and combined fuel economy is 19 mpg.
Now the base price of the BMW X6 is around $76,000 if you go for the base powertrain. And if you're looking to buy one or any vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes to get the best price. Now, of course, we're going to take it out for a spin and show you all the performance, but first we need to talk about the exterior and the luxurious interior.
Now, starting out here with the exterior design, I think the first thing you notice is that this model has aged so well after many years. It's going to have a really fantastic mix of luxury and sport elements. Now, unlike its sibling, the X5, the X6 comes standard with M Sport styling, which means you're going to have this really sporty blacked out fascia down here at the bottom, and then you have the blacked out kidney grills as well with the M branding. Now, as far as your headlights are concerned, this is where your 2026 change is going to be this year. You're going to have standard adaptive LED headlamps on all models. So that's also going to include things such as the fading in and out turn signal indicator, but you won't have any fog lamps down at the bottom. Now, as far as your wheels are concerned, the 60 model starts with 21-inch alloys, so you have a wide variety of options. We have these really nice looking 22-inch wheels for this model, and then we've also optioned on the red brake calipers with the M Sport Professional package. Moving up, you'll have the body color molding that runs throughout the rest of the body. And then you also have the standard M-style mirrors with the black finish on this model. You're going to have standard heating, blind spot monitoring, power folding, and auto dimming here on the driver's side.
Now, from the front, you might mistake the X6 for something more plebeian like the X5, but here at the side, you certainly can tell that this is a special vehicle because it has that signature silhouette that you expect out of a coupe SUV and something, that is practical but also has a sporty edge to it. As far as overall vehicle length, it's 195 inches, which is around exactly the same length as a BMW X5. We have blacked out window surrounds, and then up here at the top, it kind of sweeps around and down into the rear. And let's talk about the rear, because the rear of this X6, I have to say, looks absolutely fantastic. I'm a big fan of it. I know it's a little bit controversial in terms of its design, but I really like the fact that it stands out. Your rear window is going to be raked back at an angle, so you actually don't have a wiper, but we do have basically two integrated spoilers, so you have one right here as well as up there at the top. And let's take a look at our taillights. So our taillights are going to be fully LED. This is a very expensive vehicle, as expected. So that includes your brake light, your turn signal, and your reverse light. You have your BMW branding right here in the center, M60 branding. And then down here at the bottom, it's a mixture of this gray finish as well as some body color. You can tow with this. 7,200 pounds is your maximum, which is actually really great. You also have quad exhaust outlets, and it pumps out an incredible sound, especially if you choose this V8. Now, one of the areas you might notice that this X6 has aged a little bit is when it comes to your safety systems, because they're only giving you 2 out of 4 active safety features as standard on every X6. However, of course, you can get the driver's assistance professional package, and that's going to throw in the remaining 2 systems, as well as very advanced things like a highway driving assist function. And added last year was the ability that you can just look at the mirror and it will automatically change lanes. So it is very much advanced. But guys, there's a super advanced and luxurious cabin that we need to talk about. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from sound level readings to cargo measurements, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, let's hop inside and check out the interior, but first let's start with your key fob. You're gonna have the M-style key fob for this X6. That's going to include things such as standard smart entry, and remote start is optioned onto the X6 here. That means as I approach the vehicle, it'll actually go ahead and sense my approach and unlock the door for me, or you can just grab behind the door handle and go ahead and check out this beautiful and luxurious cabin. This is another thing that's going to be quite timeless for this X6, and that starts here with your seating materials. You're going to have a standard Sensafin leatherette, but optioned onto this model, we have the full extended merino leather cabin here, which really just ups the ante even more. We already like the Sensafin, but this just makes it even more luxurious. And then we have it in this nice ivory color. You're gonna have quite a few ways of adjustment as well. And then as you can see up on the door trim as well, we have also optioned on the massage. And then you also have things such as standard memory. But let's go ahead and check out the rest of the cabin details and features. Now, in an age where going down as an industry, this X6 continues to be one of the best that you can buy. So let's check out that, starting with the door trim. You're going to have a full leatherette armrest here, as well as some stitching materials through here. Stitching continues up to the top with a soft touch plastic. And then also optioned here onto this model we're testing today is the full leather dashboard. So that means the materials are going to be quite exquisite up here. You have the real wood trim as well, the interactive light bar, plenty of fine materials going through the center, as well as padding, and everything fits together absolutely phenomenally. And then let's go ahead and start out with the standard push button start. Now that we're fired up, we'll continue the interior tour with your gauge cluster. This is going to be part of the single screen that most of your BMWs have been rolling out as of late. This is a standard 12.3-inch digital setup, and it does have lots of customization, including things like a cool, let me get it there, there you go, augmented reality view that you can pull up there. And then all M models will come standard with a head-up display as well. Moving back, you'll see your M-style steering wheel with the contrast stitching is leather wrapped, and you do have available heating, and that will also include heated armrest as well. The steering wheel will also be power adjusting. Now, speaking of your armrest, you will be greeted by some storage here in your center console area. When I pop that open, you'll be greeted by our signature donut test here at Car Confections. We test out our center console volume using our logo, which is a donut, and inside you'll be fitting 8 donuts for this X6, which isn't too shabby overall. Moving forward, I can pop this little cubby back, and you'll be greeted by 2 cup holders, as well as a wireless phone charging pad, as well as your little vehicle key card in there to open up the doors. And then there won't be any center pass-through storage or anything like that. However, you do still have a very small shifter. You can see this is the crystal nub shifter for this model. And when you pull back, you'll put it into drive. Push up, you'll go into reverse. We have optioned on the 360-degree camera on this X6, and it's going to have plenty of views as well, including a 3D spin. To put it in park, you just click on the little P back there. There's going to be a lot of other controls back here as well, including drive modes and your iDrive controller. As we move on up the dash, you'll also be greeted by a physical volume knob. Standard on this M60 is a 16-speaker Harman Kardon audio system, so let's give it a sample. Overall, this is a quite impressive audio system. We loved our Harman Kardon on our 3 Series, and this is no different. Very good audio quality. Moving on up further, you'll see these little vent controls here. At least you don't have to control them through the screen though. And then speaking of the screen, you'll see your main display for this model. It is a 14.9-inch display, and it's going to be running one of the newer versions of iDrive. As you can see, you have things such as wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and then you have the more modern home screen where the map integrates into everything freely. Keep in mind, since this is at the end of its run, This is one of the last chances you'll have to get this set up. Otherwise, you'll be having the newer iDrive X system, which adds a lot more tech, including a screen that goes across the front of the dashboard. So this is definitely going to be a little bit more simplified. Also integrated into this screen will be your climate controls. Standard is a 2-zone automatic system, but we do have optioned on the 4-zone climate system. That will also include things such as ventilated seats and heated seats are standard equipment. Wrapping up the cabin, you have a standard auto-dimming mirror, and then you also have a standard panoramic sunroof for the X6, but we also have the executive package. So as you might be able to see, there are these little specks up in there. That means we have the LED Sky Lounge roof, which means it will light up at night in accordance with your standard ambient lighting as well.
Now, like I said at the introduction, this is a vehicle that has quite a bit of practicality in addition to all of the sporty elements that you've seen throughout, and we're about to drive it a little bit later on. But before I get into some of those practical elements, I do want to just mention you have soft closed doors. That's a nice luxury touch they're including with the executive package. And let's talk about overall legroom and headroom figures. So I'm 5'9" for reference, and what we're sitting at is about 35.7 inches of legroom, 37.5 inches of headroom. So the headroom is certainly going to be smaller than what you would find in an X5. That's a little bit taller of a vehicle. This is going to be a little bit more sloped off, but certainly it's still enough space for 4 adults to fit comfortably back here, that's for sure. Well, not in the back row, but 4 people total. Now, as far as the knee room, you do have about 6 inches of knee room behind my own 5'9" seating position, and my feet can slide easily up underneath of the seats. These seats themselves are super comfortable. They're not perforated, but they have a lot of cush to them, and they have a beautiful design to them as well. If we fold down the center armrest, we have 2 cup holders inside, as well as another little storage cubby. And let's talk about overall features that you're going to find. We have our own climate vents back here, 4 zones of climate, as Josh was mentioning earlier, as well as heated back seats. That's included in the climate package down below. So a little bit of storage, a 12-volt outlet, and you also have USB ports, and those are going to be integrated into the seat back itself. Now, if you look over at the door trim, beautiful materials really from top to bottom, and you also have things like rear window sunshades. They are going to be manual though. And then down at the very bottom, there's actually a lot more storage than you would expect. It will fit a full-size Stanley water bottle, believe it or not. I'm kind of surprised that it does, but it does fit right there in the door. Now, walking up to the tailgate area, you do have a standard hands-free power tailgate on every single model. And let's talk about the overall cargo capacity for the X6, because the X6, like I said, is a practical vehicle, but it's not quite as practical as its brother, the X5 model. So what you're looking at in terms of space behind the second row is 27 cubic feet, and if you fold the seats down, 59 cubic feet. Of course, that is less than the X5. However, it's not a huge, sacrifice in terms of overall space. So if you're not hauling things, frequently, you probably won't notice too much of a difference. And speaking of, vehicles that you could be looking at instead of this X6, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/vehicle rankings. The reason you should do that is because we've looked at all the 2-row midsize luxury SUVs on the market and ranked them in the most important categories to this type of buyer. Things like cargo space, interior luxury, technology features, powertrain choices, and even value. So you can see the best options in each of those categories depending on what matters most to you and make that informed buying decision. Now, as far as the rest of the cargo area, we have 40-20-40 split folding rear seats. However, there are not any handles to fold them from the cargo area, so I will have to go up there and do it manually. And now that we've got those seats folded down, that's your full 60 cubic feet of space. Let's get our cargo length, width, and height figures. As far as cargo length, that's going to be pretty good. So behind my 5'9" seating position, 74 inches of length is what you can expect. From behind the second row of seats, let me get it adjusted there. There we go. 41 inches of length. As far as the opening, 42 inches wide. And then let's talk about the height. So this is really going to be the area where you sacrifice the most for the X6. In terms of the maximum height, that's about 28 inches. But keep in mind, here towards the end of the cargo area, you're only looking at about 15 inches of height. So a lot worse than X5 when it comes to that. So if you're hauling tall objects, probably not a great fit. As far as the load-in height, that's 35 inches. And then underneath of the floor, you actually have quite a lot of underfloor storage. I'm surprised to see that much space. However, what you will not find is a spare tire because that's not available on the X6. All right. That was a quick acceleration, barely touching 60 miles per hour. We're going to be, responsible and not speed too fast through here. But I have to say, upon that initial acceleration, oh my goodness, this powertrain, man. You have just got to love it. It's one of those powertrains that you press your foot down and then the smile just comes onto your face. It is so good. So as we said, the spec dump, what we have is the upgraded powertrain. So this is the M60 model. This is going to be a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. You do have mild hybrid as well. All told, 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. So really exceptionally good numbers. 0 to 60 is about 4.2 seconds. So also it's very fast if you do like a just full outright 0 to 60 acceleration. And I have to say, we've been behind the wheel of M60s quite a lot in the X5 lineup, this X6 as well, and the X7, and it's just so good. I honestly don't even see hardly a reason to buy the M models. I know they're good, but these are so good.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good BMW V8, and we're even working with one that hasn't even been broken in yet, so you might have heard it shift a little bit early. That's because this will allow you to shift into higher RPMs once you get some more miles on it. But even with just that, it puts a smile on your face. It's really impressive. Of course, you do have those two other powertrain options. You can see the specs on those on the screen right now. Your 40i model is going to have the iconic B58 inline 6 with mild hybrid, and then the X6 M Comp will have an even beefier V8 with over 600 horsepower.
Just doing a more leisurely acceleration, I want to talk about the other aspect of the powertrain. That is an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's really buttery smooth. We've experienced this in a lot of other BMW products. It pairs great with all the engines, and it is standard on all of the powertrain configurations. It has a nice sporty character if you put it into the sport mode, but really the vast majority of time when you're in the comfort mode, it just blends right into the background, which is something that I love about it. You also have standard all-wheel drive.
And with standard xDrive, you will have 3 different fuel economy ratings for your 3 different engines. This is the middle option, coming in at 19 mpg combined. You can get up to 24 mpg with that 40i model, and then down to 15 on the X6 M Comp. That B58 continues to be an impressive engine when it comes to fuel economy with that mild hybrid system.
Yeah, you do pay a penalty for getting the V8, that's for sure, but you get it back in the smiles when you press the accelerator.
Sure. Smiles per gallon.
And we're going to go ahead and put it into sport mode as we accelerate at this next stoplight here to just kind of show you what the sport mode is like. As Josh mentioned earlier, this vehicle is in the break-in period, so we're not going to accelerate, full hard-on acceleration, but just to give you a good idea of what it's like, the engine definitely already kind of beefs up its character. The exhaust is definitely a lot louder as well, so let's go ahead and see what it's like.
Oh,
yeah. And then the burbles. So good. All right, we've got to get our sound level reading, though, going 55 miles per hour, so I'll put us into the comfort mode as much as that pains me.
Yep, and we'll put the climate on low, very low. .8 decibels is where we'll settle in for the 26 BMW X6. And I don't have to sit here and guess how it compares to all of its many rivals. I'll go to carconfections.com/sound level readings. Now, the X6 and the X5 have long been segment leaders for being the quietest models you can get, and this X6's reading is really quite good. Just keep in mind it's a little windy outside today, so it won't be as quiet as previous X6 models we have tested. It's just so ridiculously smooth.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of cars, are doing engine downsizing, so this is just like a good reminder of the smoothness and the luxurious feel of a V8. It's a lot of fun, of course, but also it's so incredibly luxurious when you just press the accelerator down and get that nice tone, super smooth. Talk about in V8, this thing This engine is fantastic. All right, but we need to talk about ride quality as well. We are in comfort mode, and we do have adaptive dampers on this model. So as you can see, we're going over some pretty harsh pavement here. There's a lot of bumps in the road, and it does a great job of just soaking those up. Really, no large intrusions are going to come into the cabin. So I'm very happy with the ride quality, and Josh, I think he would testify as well. These seats are perfect. So good.
Yeah. I mean, these headrests, it almost might as well be a pillow behind your head. The massage works really well. It's for butt and back massage as well. A bunch of different modes within the screen. So this will certainly be a luxurious experience that can pair really nicely with its sporty character as well.
And it's a Car Confections review, so it wouldn't be that without a slam dunk and airball, our favorite and least favorite element. Josh, why don't you kick us off with the slam dunk?
So the slam dunk for the X6 has to be how well this model has aged over the years. Even nearing the end of its life cycle, the X6 just really continues to shine when it comes to the interior materials, the luxury, the drive experience. There's one right now. Yeah. And it just looks so good rolling down the road as well. This does not look old at all.
Absolutely, that is for sure. Now on the airball side, what we're going to say is the price, and also say, of course, this costs more than the X5, and essentially, it is the same vehicle with a different design on the outside, and you're kind of paying more for less practicality. So just keep that in mind. As tested today, we're sitting at around $111,000, so it does get pricey very quickly. So you have to pay to play, and you will pay more by choosing the X6 as compared to the X5. And we are finally getting onto a road where we can talk a little bit about the dynamics of this vehicle. That is one of the great elements about really any BMW product, is that they bake in a lot of dynamics. And, as I said at the introduction, this is a vehicle you can have the practicality but not sacrifice the sporty driving character. And I really do feel like that rings true on this. We even have rear steering on the X6, so you can definitely feel that. The steering is very accurate and very responsive. We did own a BMW 3 Series, so we're very familiar with BMW driving dynamics, and they are really, really good. Go around this corner. Yeah. Almost no body roll, really, especially for an SUV. We drove a GMC Yukon to go do this video, and it's night and day the difference between the two models. And of course, we need to talk pricing. So like I said at the beginning of the video, you can get an X6 for around $76,000 on the very base end, the 40i model. Now this M60 is going to demand quite a bit more of a price premium. This is starting at around $97,000. It's not just the engine, they do give you more standard features as well, but as you can see, there's still quite a lot of options that you can go for, which is what we've done on this. We have 1175 destination. All told, we're looking at 111,425 as tested today. This vehicle is manufactured in the U.S. It's manufactured in South Carolina, and of course, you can also get the X6 M, and that's going to be around $140,000 after you add some options onto it. Now, if you're looking to buy an X6 or any vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you should do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool to use if you plan on dealership negotiating. There's also things like a monthly payment tool, so if you'd like to check all of that out, be sure to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. But buying a vehicle is about more than just the original MSRP, so let's talk about resale, reliability, and the warranty. First up, let's talk about resale value. BMW as a brand is rated at 41.19% of estimated retained value after 5 years and 60,000 miles, and after 10 years and 120,000 miles, 15.34%. Now, it's worth noting that is below industry average for all vehicle brands. However, that's very much expected out of a luxury brand, and it's on par with other luxury rivals such as Mercedes-Benz and Audi.
Now, when it comes to reliability, we can take a look at our combined reliability index using the latest 2026 data. In this regard, BMW is rated just above the overall industry average.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about our reliability data, our resale values, or our methodology, be sure to go to carconfections.com/resale and carconfections.com/reliability. Now, also important to consider is the warranty. That's a 4-year, 50,000 mile basic and powertrain warranty. BMW does additionally give you 3 years and 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. And guys, that wraps up our in-depth review of the 2026 BMW X6. If you enjoyed hearing about the 2026 changes of the adaptive LED headlights becoming standard, we'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I promise you won't want to miss out. We also strive to cover the latest and greatest cars on the market, so you really won't want to miss out. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies, and if you're already a part of our family, thank you for your continued support.